the midseason brawl, and one of the early games that we saw it on, I can't remember if it was Nomi that did it, but it was Infernal Shrines. It was just split and divide. The minute one hero would step onto basically your side of the shrine, the Diva would go in, split the team, set off the explosion, and isolate that hero that's on the other side. They have no retreat point. They're isolated from their teams, and they would just focus target that hero. So I'm curious if those teams saw that, if that's a strategy they've devised, and whether that's something we might see here.
Man, hold it down. Doesn't matter if they're first pick, second pick. They hate Tassadar. This is a great map for Tassadar. I wonder.
It's by far his best map objectively.
Yeah. Okay, Tasman.
They're willing to give up the Anubarak.
I wonder if they would go Genji instead of a noob. Or Dahaka. They're going to noob. Okay. Just because Arthlon, he's on that hype train. So it should be Dahaka Genji based on most drafts, but it is Shrines, Gildan Cocktail, super valuable here. Greymane's just an amazing hero.
I would be really okay with Dahaka. We saw what they did with Dahaka on this in the previous series, and it looked really, really good. So Dahaka seems like a likely one. They pick up the Diva.
Now, we saw this earlier when Player Unknown faced former 4 guys in the Legend, now Donkeys Are Us. They ended up playing Triple Warrior. They had Dahaka, they had Diva. What was their third? Did they have a noob too?
They had a noob.
So, already sounds crazy having those 3. But it looked very decisive. Diva was last pick in that situation, but she's fantastic in some of these fights, you know? You've got the self-destruct to control the space of the shrine. You've got the bunny hop if they ever clump up. You've got Dahaka with the global, and they're both good, solid in a solo lane situation, so...
Hear me out on this one.
Yep.
Diva Dahaka is definitely warranting basically 3 frontliners. Which means that you're going to have 3 melee. Greymane and Genji. I was going to say, Kael'thas is appealing. Jaina would be a fallback for Crowan. But I was going to throw Chromie out there with slowing sands to just completely control that front line and then just have everybody on your team annihilate anybody that tries to step through.
I like that idea because neither of those tanks really do that well against Chromie. Like, Diva can pressure her pretty hard, and Dahaka can race car into the back, but when it comes to
my
the
argument
fights,
about you can put the trap behind there.
True.
Diva
Yeah.
moves slower than any other hero,
well,
making skill shots unless you're boosted. But if you boost into the slowing sand, you're still slowed.
Yeah, true.
You're not unstoppable, I think. But you now run into the fact that you're much easier to land skill shots on. Q. The one thing that Diva struggles against is poke damage. Yes, she can close the gap to get to that back line, but that defense matrix is only in front of her. It doesn't extend beyond anything past that.
Well, that's not going to be the case unless Chromie gets picked a bit later, which seems very unlikely since Crowan and Arthlon have already found their heroes. Crowan should be on the Greymane, Arthlon on the Genji. And that's actually something I was thinking about at the start of the draft, like how quickly do they find those heroes? Because Vala loses a lot of value and Tassadar is out of the mix. Ariel's also been banned here, which means they're just like, you know what? We don't care what support we get. You can grab Malf, you can grab Rhaegar, you can grab whoever you want. BBJ is going to be happy to go for that Malfurion if that's the option they go for. And honestly, they could do the double warrior in the form of Malf Stitches if that's left open on the side of Hold It Down.
I think the thing that scares me the most is Greymane Genji. I really like the Tyrael ban. I think that really keeps them from diving on top of you, especially going into that Dragon Blade, the Worgen form Greymane, plus the dive from a Nubarak. That would be absolutely terrifying. So the fact that you also have Greymane and Genji and a Nubarak on the other side, you know, Dahaka Diva, they don't have that hard CC. They can push you, they can drag you, but dragging with Dahaka a little less. favorable, but you have to be very careful with what hero you pick on the backside. And I would love to see a Tychus here. Does well against the Nubarak. You have the Odin to get the armor when it's post 10, so if somebody dives you on the back line, and you're a serious threat.
Oh. Triple Warrior Malfurion so far. They are all in on that big control over the shrine. Diablo just has a constant presence with the fire spinning everywhere.
Jake, is this Abathur?
I would love that.
I mean, it's one way to make sure you continue the soak.
So that would put Mac on Genji. You'd put Arth on Abathur.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, nope. They ain't doing it. They're going Medivh to just have a lot of options and a lot of big shields to deny some of the plays. And that should be Arthlon, if I had to guess. Mac on Genji. And then BBJ and Rhaegar. Interesting.
The only ranged hero here that has any appeal to me is not Lunara. And it was Tychus. I am terrified for the back line of Malfurion and Lunara.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on Medivh to, you know, find those big portals, but Genji is just going to have a field day. Chasing and junking. Think Greater Spell Shield's a must based on this? I feel like it is.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think
help.
The good thing is that even if you get the portals in, you know, Malfurion, so the portal will already be down, especially post 13, where it's basically 100% uptime, is that if you find that portal dive in your back line, you do at least have the Twilight Dream, so they'll be forced to go back through the portal. You also have APOC, but I think one of the more important things that we see against Medivh players is that people tend to overstay their welcome because they know they can get out. But Diablo is actually one of the best heroes for dealing with people trying to go into a portal. You just press E and cue them away. Now, that portal safety, that safety net that you had is gone.
And that can be scary when you don't get that safety net, but all right, this is the grand finals. Once again, guys, hold it down in the blue. We've got Ishbu on the new BBJ on the Rhaegar. Crowin once again playing the range carry. This time Greymane, and then Mac on the Genji. Look at those happy clouds. They're so happy.
I'm happy. On the right side will be players unknown. They need to stay alive here. It's going to be Indy Bear on Malfurion, Mysticles on Dahaka, Cripsy on Diva, Apex on Lunara, and Crux on Diablo.
Arthlon's got that bird life, just scouting them out. McIntyre throws a few shurikens to get rid of that first gun drone, walks up to another one, and consider it on cooldown.
Well, we'll have the battle in the middle. Dahaka is in the bottom lane. I wonder if he's going to clear that and then move to the top. Generally, the top lane is going to be your solo lane, but Dahaka already being pressured off bottom lane.
Another game where Regen Master is the option. I mean, when it's just Lunara as the pseudo mage, Regen Master can be the better option for sure. What do we got for other talents? Pretty standard stuff. Again, range car, Dahaka. Flip in onto Ishbu. The roots do not end up connecting. Could have been his life there.
I'm thinking about when we get to 10 on how much value you'll see APOC get. Arthlon just kind of messing around there, but Leyline is a great answer to APOC, is that it kind of keeps the enemy team. Even if you land a couple of APOC stuns, you just throw Leyline down and the follow-up is instantly negated.
Cripsy just boosted. And that's a lot of lockdown thrown his way. He's trying to use that defense matrix. Is it enough? One more hit from Genji, but it's not there. Cripsy lives on. Big defense matrix for him to stay alive there.
Not too shabby to get away.
Yeah.
Arthlon just continuing to deal with Diablo. That's the thing with this triple warrior comp and Diablo, or excuse me, Dahaka kind of being with the main core of the group trying to look for those picks is that Diablo now is going to struggle for wave clear.
It's not the ultimate worst, but yeah, he's not building into it. He's going for the double do, and now we've got the fourth from the shadows. All about that utility when you're playing that Diablo, especially in this kind of situation with this map. So many walls, 4 big charges. Cripsy actually gets interrupted upon trying to hit the nitrous. Really well done from Ishbu there with the impale.
You know, we're seeing kind of that similar strategy where Dahaka just kind of stays at the bottom. We saw this in PlayerUnknown's game earlier where they looked really, really good on this battleground by using this Dahaka strategy. Oh. There's what I'm talking about. Diablo is pulling them away. That is exactly what I'm talking about. They're on Crowan right now. Oh. Right now we see the hand. The protection is there, but Cripsy going to go in and confirm the kill. Jake, they did it. That is exactly what Diablo does against Medivh.
That was hype. That was so well done by Diablo. Like, that portal, no one's going in there. He is the gatekeeper, not Medivh. And Ishbu taking a lot of damage. This time he manages to slip through the portal. Does he have the well to tap? Getting the chain heal. No well available. Just tapped it recently, I guess. So, whew. It's still very even on the Shrine, 33 to 28, but Greymane still not back.
I am so impressed by the way that they pulled that off. It wasn't just that they did it, it was the timing and precision with which he did it. He queued the minute he got close. We saw Greymane flip back over, and he just hit E and pulled him back, and he could not escape. That is exactly how you play against Medivh. I am so impressed with that.
Ishbu mistimed the burrow. You saw him burrow randomly to the back. He thought the Punisher was going to jump about a second too soon, maybe in half a second. And, I mean, it's fine in the end. He was just trying to get fancy. Didn't quite work out for him. Genji down bottom right now. Dahaka's rotating to respond to that. Wall will be removed, and that should be the end of this pressure here in the top lane. But so far, really nice showing in the start of this game number 2 by PlayerUnknown.
You know, obviously, Soul Shield is a good choice for Diablo at 7 to deal with the Medivh poke, to deal with the cocktails. I almost wondered if he'd go Diabolical Momentum just to try and have that portal denial, but I think this is probably a much safer bet. Feels bad hindering Moonfire at 7. No cleanse for Malfurion.
Yeah, no cleanse doesn't exist. Hindering Moonfire is it's a solid talent. It's a really solid talent. With Elun's Grace, you're applying slows from downtown. And, you know, he's not going full Moonfire build, but you got to respect it. However, Indie Bear will be picked off here. The self-destruct should... Oh, Cripsy actually got off the point. So, Crowan gets a cleanse, but does he get the heal in time? 40 HP? No. Down he goes. BBJ, oh, gets a chain kill off of himself with the poison. Overtaking the heal. And BBJ drops the totem.
The totem is just enough of the hots, the heals over time to keep him on. He got down to, I think, like 30 or 40, and if he didn't put that totem down, he was a goner.
They still lost 2. They lost the camp, so although he stayed alive, losing scenario for them. 2-for-1 trade favoring PlayerUnknown. Arth is getting split push during this.
Yeah, but Dahaka is as well. I mean, that's the thing, is Dahaka has kind of been everywhere when necessary. He's kept up a lot of that experience. We now see, because 3 kills to 1 plus those few kills, that the race to 10 is easily on PlayerUnknown's side, which means that Hold It Down will now be playing from behind, at least for the next few minutes.
Okay, that tower is a lot of experience that was needed. Crux came down here on his own, and they acknowledged that after having eyes on the other lanes, seeing those bodies. They want this last tower. Dahaka is in the shadows near them, but tower goes down. Dahaka's looking to make the play. They have heroics, whereas Hold It Down does not, but now they do. 11 Skeletal Defender advantage. But now the real fight begins.
Bunny Hop will help heal if necessary. We see Arthalon. The stacks have not been there just because he was kind of in that solo lane by himself. Only 6 stacks on Master's Touch.
Yeah, it's a lot of progress he needs to start to make happen real soon. Portal was thrown down, self-destruct thrown down as well. Crux unable to get the portal denial this time around. Self-destruct, all it does is confirm them the shrine. That is plenty. Crowan and McIntyre, a bit separated from their team, but looks like they're safe. Here comes the Punisher.
Players unknown. This is now 2 Punishers. They're leading in kills. They instantly split to Haka. They're getting the value that we saw them get in their previous series on this battleground, and they are executing this composition really well. Twilight Dream already, but the Leyline in return.
Haka's not really doing much. Leyline Seal was solid. Crowan needs to be careful, though. Haka is lurking for him in this top part, and he slips through the shadows, but he does have that disengage. Good shield coming up from Arthalon onto Rhaegar, who then throws the Ancestral Heal over to the Genji to keep him alive. IndyBear has 70 HP, and they do get the D.Va pilot. The flames tickling around, and Mac, oh, if he knew Malfurion was there, you know he'd be hunted.
IndyBear just barely able to walk away with his life, but that was a really good defense by Hold It Down. We saw the lead-in charge by Diablo. It looked really strong, but that was Genji with the mobility, and the Ancestral landed, so things turned around in favor of Hold It Down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're seeing one big mix-up, the lack of Bunny Hop. I think is actually quite interesting. That could have made a bit of a difference there, I feel, especially the way D.Va was kind of aggro. I guess this is going to be a little bit more of a self-destruct use. I don't know.
Oh, I called Bunny Hop, and it was Big Shot.
Yeah.
Looked at the thing, and for some reason I just was imagining Bunny Hop because it seems
I
like,
just assumed it was Bunny Hop personally, because that's pretty much what we tend to see, especially on this map when you're running Triple Warrior. You want that frontline control. This could be a different approach that we haven't seen yet, where, I mean, as we're seeing now, D.Va in that pilot form can apply decent pressure and then use the mech very recklessly, because you get it back so rapidly with Big Shot. But I feel like Bunny Hop is just so valuable against a comp like this.
Good call.
Master's Touch is done.
Yeah, Master's Touch definitely done. Emergency shielding is going to be the pickup again at 13, so getting that shield, we saw it used by Arthalon, save that mech a couple times. We're going to see if they have the same success here. Cripsy's going to try and hold on to that a little longer.
All right, Dahaka responding to bottom lane. Still experienced lead on the side of player unknown, but I don't know if they don't have the early start to this Punisher, and the Nitrous just clips Mac and hit and run, just leaves immediately. This again, they're getting that good soak on Dahaka. Healing Totem is actually basically a ward to see if Dahaka is going to pop in on that point. In that, he didn't really need to use it there. He just wanted to place it on the point. Dahaka should brush talk her up, because there's no reason to concede this point in its entirety. He's looking for the Shrine. Crone will, or for the portal, and he does get through. The Diablo flips. There goes the first self-destruct of this fight. Oh, Genji going in! Oh, the Twilight Dream!
I don't know what's happening there, but Dahaka is now here, but the Leyline Seal is going to keep BBJ alive at least for a moment longer. They've got the slow, the APOC going in. Catches nobody, but it helps zone just a little bit. Cripsy trying to go in. Apex not able to land any attacks to get any slow, but that one kill. Genji going in that just got destroyed.
He saw the pilot D.Va, and he thought he could pop her quickly. Clearly did not work out, even with the Dragon Blade. And beautiful Twilight Dream from IndyBear, recognizing the situation. That one kill, making this an option from Arthalon, getting comboed. Good drag from Mysticles, using that Brush Stalker, going almost no distance, and juking, or flanking rather, Arthalon for the kill. They should be able to finish up the Shrine.
They're going to finish up the Shrine. That camp's been pushing middle, so they're starting to get more pressure on. Dahaka working his way towards the bottom now to continue to try and stretch that lead. We have a full level lead. The map's starting to open up. After this, we're going to have 2 forts down on the side of Hold It Down.
Red team has summoned the Punisher.
2 forts down. We're looking at level 16. You know, talent tier advantage with a couple level lead, basically. Haka Global, you know, that's been so useful already. Mystically is playing wonderfully in the Haka just across the board. And here comes the Punisher, 9% of its HP onto the keep wall. Mercenary camp in the mid is the one thing they've got going, as McIntyre, I think he's hearthing in the bottom because he knows he needs to defend. No, he's not.
Did get baited over, so just the keep wall will end up going down there. They can't
Yep.
exactly re-engage here, so that tower stands.
All right, well, Arth getting that soak that is so desperately needed. 16 is here. We're actually seeing Ysera's gift. Which is interesting.
That is definitely a different way that we've seen this. Obviously, it requires Malfurion to stay protected, and with a triple warrior comp, then maybe you feel comfortable sitting there at 80% health and higher, because so far, there hasn't been a lot of pressure on the Malfurion. I mean, think about how many times we've called this game that they're on Malfurion. It's been none.
Yeah. That is true. 16, so very close for hold it down, but really, players unknown. The true challengers in this situation, they're the ones holding it down. Good lead, good map control, keep wall down at the top lane, and taking out the final fort on the map with that level advantage. But 16's here, and this is the talent tier in which Hold It Down can try to turn the tides back in their favor. You know, the CC alone from Earthgrass Totem will be very helpful.
Reabsorption is another good talent picked up. Oh, just casually dodge some impale there, but reabsorption will help heal up a lot. Again, we don't have the necessarily like burst damage from this composition, but there's the charge in. The roots are going to go down. The ancestral early there, but definitely safe than sorry.
Good ley line seal. Mystically is going to have to burrow to stay alive for the moment. Cocoon not going to do really anything here as they're able to quickly burn through that. McIntyre trying to get some value out of the Dragon Blade, but again, he just seems afraid of this Mega Warrior composition. Now BBJ all by himself does step through that portal to stay alive. Genji looking for the Cripsy on that Diva mech. Does not get the final blow.
Hold It Down has their hands full.
Yeah.
I tell you what, and more as Devastating Charge at 13 gets those quest talents stacked up, anybody that's getting thrown into that wall is going to have a hard time getting out. And right now, Crux, I think, is just doing really well in this Diablo to keep players unknown just in a very good spot in this game.
Okay, Shadow Charge onto that Anubarak. The cleanse was used very early in the fight. Portal out he goes, but the damage amp so threatening from Mysticles. The Twilight Dream on the entire team!
They're going down. BBJ trying to walk away from that Crow and getting flipped back into the team. He's going to try and swipe away, but did they find a mistake there? Crowan goes down. BBJ goes down. That is 3 members down.
I mean,
they might try and end here.
Yeah, it's a Medivh and an Anubarak. You see the fallen shaman being grabbed behind this bush.
Definitely not hitting.
I don't know if they have enough time to end. They get the
Not
keep.
now. I mean, you've still got a ley line. You've still got ley line. They took time for that camp. This is actually a bit of a mistake. Getting the keep is a really good thing, but hopefully they can burst down these skeletal defenders. They need to get the defenders down. As rewarding as that is, they should have skipped that camp, focused on getting the keep down, and then try and get that. Because a shaman camp doesn't necessarily put that much pressure onto the core. It's more just buying time.
But
you got to wait for the catapults. That's a long ways away.
They should get this Punisher. And that'll keep the lane pushed out at least. But as you mentioned, the catapults are a ways off. That first one just making its travel from the red base, moving on along now. They do leave it at 39 out of 40, and then they go for their Cosmic Camp. And this is known. This is fact. And Crux, the target of choice, Curse Bullet goes out, trying to force some of those big kills to come through. Dragon Blade in the back, but the Twilight Dream is once again money, denying a lot of that damage. A monster self-destruct going from Diva, finding 2 kills on Anubarak and Genji, and player unknown with this triple warrior comp looking crispy.
This could be the game-winning push. The Impalers are going to have a little bit of impact. Obviously, they've taken a bit of damage, but there's no keeping the top. You have to bait this to the bottom. We saw in the previous series they didn't properly bait the Punisher, and it went the other direction. But right now, they have to find a way to bait this and get it down to the bottom keep. If not, they're going to have to defend on the core, and that's going to be very difficult.
All right,
that keeps going.
Yeah, there's no saving it. The costs are behind this. Sieging up. 2 members down, now respawning. To be the 5v5, but level 20 and a Punisher are still here in the mix. Cripsy nearly has that self-destruct. If he loses the mech in the next second or so, he will not be able to self-destruct. And yes, was not able to get it off Lunara. Picked off, so is Rhaegar. No heals for the defense. Shields down on the core, but Crux will be the next to fall.
I'm so surprised that they're not being more aggressive here. The shields are down. It's down to 79%. They just need to siege up on there. They didn't do a good job protecting the Lunar. They felt that they needed to
catapults.
They have the mech explosion. This should be game.
This should be game. I don't think they can stop this damage. The ice block sitting there, the explosion going to do a fair bit of damage in itself, and they're focusing it down. We're going to a game in number 3, J-Ho.
I don't think anybody expected this outcome. Even the game number 1, we saw Hold It Down continue their dominance to just look incredible as they have for 2 days. But players unknown.
Dude.
This is their battleground, man.
And that was such a similar composition to what they used against